Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Decided to get another race done, pretty close to the late model open series race that I ran. We are in the ARCA series this time here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for week 7.
Track's clear.
Did some
Push,
practice.
All right, we've got two.
Definitely don't feel like I have the line perfected down, but I definitely made a lot of improvements from where I started. Learning how to drive the car a little more on edge makes make a little bit more speed out of the corners for it, and hopefully not going to be overdriving it during the race, as well as not losing it. Didn't really get to do a ton of long runs, so probably going to be backing off a little bit from what I learned in practice, just so that I can make sure that I keep the tires in check and I don't fall off too hard the last half of the race. But gonna try to see what I can do here in qualifying, see if I can actually put something down. So I think I'm car number 6 or 7, and there's like 21 or 22 cars. So it's an early midday race for a weekend, so not a super strong strength of field, but gonna see what we can do. Hopefully try to make the most of it. Still have not quite perfected turn 4 down optimally. It's just a bit more than I can handle personally, so but we'll get there. Little overdrive there in turn 2. Not going to be good for the runoff. If you're going to perfect corners, turn 2 and turn 4 are by far the most important here at Indy with how long the straightaways are. 1 and 3 are important, but just not quite as important as 2 and 4. Overdrive turn 3 did not get as low as I wanted, so it's not going to be a very good first lap. Hopefully I can try to get a good run here off of turn 4. See if I can make lap 2 better than lap 1. It's not going to be a horrific lap, but certainly nowhere near what I know I'm capable of even right now. So, and I think I was one of the first ones to go out, so P4 doesn't mean quite as much, I'm guessing. Overshot 1. Try to do a little bit better here through 2, get a little bit of a better drive off of 2 down the backstretch.
That's a new fastest lap for Mills, 53.33.
Guys are absolutely flying compared to what I'm capable of, so hopefully we'll be mid-pack, although slide it really bad there through 3, trying to drive as hard as I could. It's going to heat up the right rear tire, make it tougher to get off the 4. Should still be able to go faster, but it's not going to be very good. About a tenth and a half faster, probably. Got into the 53s, I'll take that. Not crazy happy with it, but we'll see where it sorts this out. I'd prefer to start on the inside if possible, but we'll see what happens. It's a tough track to pass. I've done a league race here before. I don't remember if I've done officials or not the last time it ran. Yeah, look at the gap we've got. I'm still 0.6 of a second off of the 2 car. I really was kind of learning what I could do as a race pace rather than an all-out qualifying run. So if I, on a limited time and really feeling like I've got so much to learn, race pace is the first thing I want to learn, and then qualifying. But obviously with a track like this, with it being so tough to pass, qualifying track position is incredibly important. So see what we can do. Yeah, I wish one person would be able to jump me and put me back into 5th, but I'll make the most of it if I start 4th. So better qualifying effort than I normally have, and we out-qualified the car number, so if I could still even finish in the top 5, that'd be great. Looks like we are starting on the outside, so hopefully not lose too many spots off the start, try to slot down on the bottom. It's 20 laps, somewhat quick, but you lose tires quite a bit here, so going to try to keep up with everybody in the front, but not push it too incredibly hard. For the settings, I'm running 12 to 1, minus 12 and 60. 12 to 1's a little bit lower than what I've been running. Trying to learn how to brake the car and slow it down in the corners well enough to not overheat the right front. Drive it off the right rear a little bit more. The minus 12 and 60s, kind of close to what I typically run. So get gridded up here. Again, start fourth, so not the best. We'll pull up session best lap. Expect to probably drop close to 2 seconds from whatever the fastest lap is to what we run at the end of the race. But we'll just have to see. Tire fall off is definitely real here for sure. Biggest thing is to try to do the best that I can to drive it off the right rear and really get it to rotate off of that so I can save the right front and still have grip into the corner as the run goes on. But just try to keep it as close to that edge as I can without stepping over it. Try to keep it off of everybody and see if I can save tires a little bit better and hang on for a top 5. If I fall back to a 5th, I'll be okay with that. Probably out-qualified my race pace, so, and honestly, even 6th or 7th, you know, finishing where I'm supposed to or slightly ahead of it will not be a bad result by any means. So it's not anywhere near where I wanted to be in terms of, you know, skill level and what I've learned, but I feel like it's better, and I'm not going to perfect this stuff in 1 week, so I didn't get a chance to put quite as much practice in as I would like to, but just gonna try to make the most of it, get you guys something decent. So it's gonna be a very long pace lap for sure.
Follow car number 01 in the outside column.
Got 10, I think, on the inside, revving the engine. We'll drop for him. Off and rolling on check fuel. No tires in this one, so don't need to worry about that. I guess we're at a slight advantage being on the outside of row 2. Although the 1's still going to be a disadvantage to the 2 on the jump, so try to do the best that I can. I would not be surprised to see the 19 get by me as well, so just try to slot to the inside as quickly as I can, and if the 19 gets by me, that's fine. Hopefully stay in front of the 6 and the 4, but just going to have to watch out as much as I can. We've got a little bit of an international field, so most of the people seemed like they had decent connections. So just have to watch and see what happens. Not sure what the 2 is doing there. Yeah, we'll just have to watch and make sure that everything's good. If anybody blinks, you know, just going to tread lightly around them. So turn the chat down just a little bit to have it on. We're getting ready to go this time. The 6 is laying back quite a bit. See when he tightens up. Looks like the 4 and the 6 are both starting to tighten up. Got to get some braking in it. Try to do it quickly here through 4. Not bad, should be good enough. And we're going to see when the 2 is going to want to go. He's laid back from the pace car quite a bit, so he's off. We are rolling.
Okay, Jake, here we go.
Actually going to be able to get in front of the 10. Got a little bit of a better start than him, so
Green.
actually picked up 1 spot off the start. I'll take that. It's better than I expected it to be. He's going to tiptoe lightly through the first corner, so we're on cold tires. And the setup definitely can be a bit loose off of the corner on cold tires. Again, really going to try to baby the tires as much as I can. Trying to remember to stay a little bit off the wall so I don't get that little bit of that air pocket that kind of slows the car down. Remember to wait a little bit longer on the throttle and not get too low into the corner too early and get the car loose with the apron. But not a bad first lap. I will take it. We got a nice gap back to the 10. Sitting in 3rd. If I could stay in 3rd, I'd be thrilled to death with that.
P3.
So make sure I don't overshoot 1 too much. Again, biggest thing is just to make sure I try to do the best I can to drive it off the right rear without sliding it too bad out of the corner. Slide it off the corner, you're going to kill the momentum out. Try to drive it off the right rear instead of the right front. Not overdrive entries. Verstappen's hanging on a little better than I expected him to, but we got a little bit of a separation behind, so as we see the race go on and tires play out, you'll definitely see a bit more of a separation through everybody. If I can catch up back to the one, I don't think I'm going to try to go around him. I think I'm just going to sit here, try to take advantage of the draft, and then save some tires. Just wait, because draft doesn't have a huge effect, but does have a little bit, so no reason to jump by them and then have them be able to save more than me and have more later on in the run. Got a good enough gap back to the 10 that not too worried about them catching me quite yet. Looks like the one had a bit of a moment there in 2, kind of like me there in 3. Did the same thing. Just that's what I'm talking about. If you get too early below the white line, it can cause the car to get a little loose. So gonna lose all that time I gained to them, as well as some time to the 10, since it just killed the momentum. But not too big of an error. Able to save it. Just gotta regroup and focus. Probably overdrove 2 there a little bit. You can see all the time I'm losing off to the corner. 3. Be able to make up some time compared to the last lap through 3 if I don't have another mistake, but gotta be a little bit smarter with the driving. Time's a little bit better. As the race goes on, I'll just have to back up when I lift off, brake a little bit longer, lift a little bit more through 4. Not a great lap, but I'll deal with it. My biggest goal is just to try to get through this as efficiently as possible. Drive the car off the right rear, not slide it off the corners too much though. It's a better turn through 2 that time. Pulling away from the 10 a little bit, losing to the 2 and the 1, but naturally they should be faster than me right now. A little bit too low too soon there in 3, kind of got the car rotated a little too much. I don't want to use that to my advantage in 4, I think. Big gap between the 10 and the 5, so no pressure at all. Should be pretty easy to stay at least 3rd or 4th.
That lap time was 54.39.
I keep the laps somewhat consistent without feeling like I'm overdriving, then maybe it's possible to start gaining on the 1 and the 2 a little bit later in the run, as well as pull away from the 10. Which seems like we're doing. Don't know if he's laying back and saving tires a little bit more, or just that much faster. We'll kind of see how it plays out.
The gap in front is now 1.24.
A little bit too low that time. Didn't get loose, just kind of killed the apex a little bit. Sorry about the chat there. Lost a little bit of time there off of turn 4, but not bad overall. Definitely losing time to the 2 and the 1. Like I said, hopeful that maybe they're driving a little bit harder. I'll have a little bit more tire the later stages of the race. Try to catch back up to them that time. A little bit longer through turn 2 before I pick it up. If I can keep this gap back to the 10, I'll be really happy with that. I feel like we've done so many laps and we're only going to be coming to complete lap 7 this time by. It's a fun track, just, I don't know, it's a bit tough here. It's definitely precision for the driving, without a doubt, just very tough to pass. But I mean, we've seen that in all forms of stock car racing for the most part in real life.
Lap times are pretty consistent.
A little too hard there out of turn 2, got the car a little loose. Slid it a bit more than I wanted, doing the same thing in turn 2. Or excuse me, that was 1 the first time I did it. Lost a lot of time.
Behind is now
10's
1.55.
catching up. It's going to take advantage of that bad 1 and 2 that I had. Need to brake just a little bit sooner for 3 that time. Overshot it really bad. Start lifting all the way out of 4 just to get the car to settle a little bit more. Really, really terrible lap. I've given up so much time, both out front and out back, but pretty confident I can recover from that.
Your lap time was at 55.24.
Probably move the brake bias back some in the next lap or 2. Probably going to have it all the way back by about lap 16 or 17. Unless I really feel like I've shredded the tires. Ben's doing a good job catching. I'm making a lot of unforced errors, so again, we'll see if he's driving a bit harder or if he's doing a better job saving tires than I am. Feeling really good about the gap back to the 5 though. 2 and the 1 might be too far ahead to catch even if their tires do fall off more. Just have to wait and see. Took a little bit of time, still pretty bad, but I'll get it stabilized. Just trying to do the best I can to drive it off of the right rear out of the corner. Not a very good turn 2 there. Just really slow. I probably could have pushed it a bit further. We're going to be halfway done this time though. Not quite as bad of a turn 3. Little overdriving in turn 4 there. Lost a lot of time. You can see the relative just falling off badly out of 4 down the back stretch or the front stretch. Able to pull away just slightly from the 10.
Okay, Jake, you're halfway home. Your fuel is fine. That was at 55.23.
Move the brake bias back just a little bit. Not quite all the way, but a little bit of it. Slid a little too much there out of turn 2. Maintaining the gap back to the 10 though. Losing time to the 2 and the 1, but again, baby steps. And I'll learn how to get faster. Really overshot turn 3. That's going to cost me a ton of time to the 10. Also was going to wear on the right front pretty bad. Try to make up for it, get a little bit of a better turn 4 though. See if I can at least try to carry some momentum down the back stretch or the front stretch. 9 to go this time.
That lap was at 55.37.
Just got to start judging these corner entries in 1 and 3 better. Overdrove it, picked up the throttle too early, got it loose. It's going to make it tougher to get off the corners as the right rear is going to be hotter. Also allowed the 10 to close back up again. It's back under a second, which I know a second's still quite a bit. I just hate giving up time when I didn't need to. Trying to drive 3 this time a little bit better. I know I took it really slow, but trying to be a little bit more kind. Tap the brakes because I feel like I lifted just a slight too late into turn 4. Really bad lap overall though. Really bad lap. Or is not half a second slower.
That was at 55.
Back the braking point up. A little bit more brake pressure, drag it a little bit longer. Try to avoid getting it too loose out of 1. Just gotta learn to adjust the line a little bit more as the tires fall off. So I keep practicing, get longer runs in, that'll come with time. Everybody behind's catching, but like I said, I've given quite a bit of time away in terms of terrible driving, so pretty confident I can recover and stay in front, although not when I do that. Just overdrove it off at 3, kicked it out, thankfully no incident point, but terrible move on my part. Lap was going to be a lot faster until I did that. One of the two are running side by side all the way down to the inside wall. I go side by side into turn 1. We're too far back to be able to take advantage of it, but who knows, maybe one of them will have contact and a problem. A little loose there off of turn 1 again. This lap's not going to be great, but trying to recover, stabilize it. Actually didn't lose too much time to the 10 at all, so be happy with that. Not overdrive turn 3 this time and not slide it off too bad. Like I overdrove 4 just a little bit, but able to recover. 2 stays ahead of the 1. They get sorted back nose to tail. Just scraped the wall barely going into turn 1. Whoa, picked up the throttle way too early, car got way too tight there. Oh, I'm just driving terribly now. Just gotta settle down. I have 5 to go this time, I can do this. 10's gonna get a really good run since I had an absolutely horrible short shoot too. This will be the closest he's been to me all race, but gotta quit thinking about it. Just focus on my marks and driving. Car's still good enough to stay in 3rd. Driver may not be, but the car is, so driver's just gotta get with it. Not when I get too low like that, though. Looks like the 10 got a little loose, but still getting a better run down the front stretch. Not even worried about the 1 and the 2. It's about protecting 3rd at this point. 5 to go. With the brake bias back all the way to the next lap or so. Not done the tires any favors this race. So feel like I've improved in some ways, not in others, but it'll get there. 3's gotten by the 5. He's closing up quite a bit. I think he's done an even better job saving tires, so could be looking at possibly a 5th place finish. He's gonna have to try to do the best I can to drive as smart as I can. Force everybody else to find a way around me. 2 had problems. We'll check that out afterwards and see what happened, but that's going to put us into 2nd. A little bit of a gift there with the free spot. Don't know if the 1 made contact with him. It's like the 1's apologizing, so something happened between them. Check that out after the race.
B2.
Little bit of over rotation there out of turn 1. Not horrific. Just really trying to do damage control, keep myself going forward as quickly as I can without losing too much. 3's still closing up. It's kind of stabilized to the 10. I'm hoping that I can drive smart enough that with 3 laps to go, it's going to be tough for somebody to get by me. This thing is just to not overdrive the corners, especially on exits. It's going to be the biggest thing to keep myself in 2nd. Guess I got a gift. The problem between the 2 and the 1, but I'll take it when I can get it. Sometimes luck is better than speed. A little bit of a late entry there into 1, overdrove it a little bit, able to recover. Just trying to work the car back off at turn 2 down the backstretch. 10 and I are running about even pace. 3's definitely catching. I just think it's too little too late. The gap to the 5's actually stayed pretty consistent most of the race. So I'm probably a 5th or 6th place car at best. A little too low there. 3 got a little loose. Allows the 10 to close up. Quit getting too low there. 10 gets a little bit of a problem, slips up a little bit. 3 closes up quite a bit that time. He's still 3/4 of a second back, and he's got to get by the 10 first before he can get by me. And we've got just 2 to go.
We're on for a podium here.
Just gotta focus on my marks, not worry what the 10 does. Rather back off and run 95%. Force the 10 to try to find a way around me and not lose it than the other way around, but we'll see. It's gonna get a little too interesting. Just too many unforced arrows. If I wouldn't have had those, I'd have a much bigger gap at this point. Wouldn't be so worried about it, but all a learning experience. Took it a little easy there through turn 3. 10 closes up. Guarantee you he's going to try to get the draft and go to the inside down the front stretch. I don't know, I'm kind of at the mercy of whatever he does. Probably should have blocked a little bit more, but not much I can do.
Keep it together, we'll be on the podium.
Just going to try to fight as hard as I can on the outside without overdriving it. It's going to allow the 3 to come up quite a bit. I don't know, this is going to be way too interesting of a finish, especially when I lose it there through turn 2. 3's actually going to drive on the outside of the 10, so that puts him up into 3rd. He's going to get the run down the front stretch. See if he tries to look to the inside going into 3. He's got the tire to do it.
The gap in front has increased. It's now about 6.2 seconds.
Oh, he just turns right, sends me into the wall. I don't think I turned down on him, but we'll take a look. Car's so damaged, we're going to fall further back. Honestly, I don't even think we're going to get a 6th place finish. Just trying to get it off the wall, down the front stretch. Let's get to the line. Before the 8 gets by, it's going to go on by. We're going to be a 6th place finish. So frustrating.
6th place.
So frustrating. I don't know, I think the 3 overdrove it a bit, but I probably turned down on him. Had a great run up until that point. Obviously, you know, made a lot of mistakes that wouldn't have even put me in that spot if it wouldn't have been for those, but I don't know, I think he drove it in a little too hard. Let's take a look at the tires. They're not going to be good. 74/84 is not terrible. Right front obviously was destroyed, but I had to finish it. That sucks. That sucks. Let's take a look at it, see what happened. 10's gonna get by. I'm gonna fight back on the outside. Stayed off of him, gave him all the room. Actually got a little loose there off of turn 2, or turn 1. I think he's gonna have the problem here out of turn 2. I got loose, but able to save it. 3's gonna get by the 10. You can see him closing up here. He's right at the bottom of the screen. He's gonna dive to the inside. I had to give it to him. Like, he had way more speed. I don't know. It's a bit of me coming down too much. I was trying to pinch him and not giving him enough room to exit out of turn 3. Because you can see I'm still coming down the track, and then I kind of stabilize there, and he comes up. We make contact right there. That was the big contact that sent me into the wall. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of 50-50. I guess he probably should have lifted a hair, but I don't think he expected me to cut down and defend that hard. So, lessons learned. Let's see, where was the 10 in relation to the 3? It's probably one of those I should have given up second, slotted in behind the 3, and at worst finished 4th instead of 6th, and had a 0x, or, you know, maybe could have even stayed ahead of the 10 and finished 3rd. So definitely overdriving on my part for sure. I don't think the 3 did me too many favors, but the 3, I don't know. He drove it in hard. He did what he had to do on the last lap. You can see he gets loose there. Gets loose there, and he's fighting to hold it off. Doing a pretty good job running the slip angle right there on the bottom. You can see he's actually holding it. And like I said, I was cutting down to try to pinch him down a little bit, and just went a little bit too far. And yeah, so pretty good race up until that point. Just I don't know, dumb mistake, I guess. So see what happened between the 2 and the 1. That was the interesting part. Let's see here. So she's got a somewhat decent gap. I think that was right around that 2/10 second, 2 to 3/10 of a second gap that he had most of the race with them. Running a pretty good line, taking it all the way out to the wall out of 1. Gets himself down to the bottom. Pretty good job working that way. 1 gets a little loose off of turn 2, but pretty good run using the draft down the front stretch. See if the 1's going to dive on the inside going into 3. Oh, they're still in line here. 2 got a little wide, got into the wall. Alright, so I don't know if that's quite as much on the 1 as I thought, because the 2 got wide out of 3, drills the wall, and then comes back down off of it right in front of the 1. I guess the 1 could have tried to hit the brakes, but it was a bit tougher for the 1 to avoid them than what it might lead to. I don't know. It was... I don't know. You leave a comment, let me know how much blame you assigned to the 2 and how much blame you assigned to the 1. I almost feel like that's kind of a racing deal. The 2 just pushed it hard and then got in front of the 1, and the 1 didn't have a ton of time with, you know, yeah, you're in the slowest part of the track there, but even that part of the track is not that slow, so 2 ends up finishing 10th overall, so yeah, not my best race by any means, but I guess somewhat of an improvement, and even with 6th place with that mistake, still technically ahead of where I was supposed to finish, so take a look at the results, see how those did. Should be hopefully somewhat decent. Top split of 4, 23.74, not super strong, but again, you know, an off-peak time, so let's see, I think I actually had the fastest lap of the race. So probably could have backed it off a little bit and had a little more tire at the end. But again, probably would have been further ahead of the 10 and the 3 had I not made some of those mistakes where I cost myself, you know, 3/4 of a second a lap, and I think I did that 2 or 3 laps right there. So not very often that I have the fastest lap. Again, probably should have backed it off a little bit, but not terrible. A lot of incidents. You know, you had the 2 for the 1 getting into the back of the 2, 3 probably got a 4x with me or 2x. Yeah, a lot more incidents out of this race than I would have expected, quite honestly. But able to gain 48, so just under 2,500. I did run 1 late model race again that I didn't record that got me, I think, like 30 points or something like that, iRating. So that's why there was a little bit of difference there, but safety ratings break even, got to get back to 0x's, but 3.56 is not absolutely horrific. It's not like I'm, you know, a torpedo or anything like that. It's just got to be a little bit more aware and a little bit smarter. You know, kind of the same thing again, probably like the late model race should have let him by and lost 1 spot or 2 spots instead of 3 or 4. So lessons learned. Pick up front. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Feel free to leave any of your analysis of both instances we look at, as well as driving tips, anything you got, what you guys do to practice in these and kind of work on tire conservation, but still picking up the pace as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. And until the next one, I hope all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.